I got a new tool! On my other channel, I have a series where I talk about the tools that I have, why I chose them, and how that's working out. But I like to use tools that I've had for a while and review those properly. So on this channel, I like to have brand new tools and give you my opinion on first impressions and why maybe I bought it in the first place. So today I have the Master Inline Flaring Toolkit from Napa Service Tools. And it's a little bit of a different kind of flaring tool for brake lines than you guys might be familiar with. So let's just have a look. Now, first thing to note is the nice blow mold case that it comes in. If you watched the last video, I explained how, yeah, if it comes in a blow mold case and it's just like one piece, I don't really see the point or whatnot. But it's kits like this that it's nice to have a good blow mold case. Yeah, these things are usually just a throwaway if it came with a torque wrench or something like that. But yeah, no, this is it's actually a pretty nice case. It doesn't just have that split at the back where it's just, you know, kind of there. It actually has a hinge, which means that, yeah, they thought this one out. You're gonna have the case for a long time. Yeah, the sticker might wear out or whatever, but yeah, it's gonna get used, abused, and hopefully it'll last a little while, because there's nothing more annoying than when that seam at the back breaks and now you've got two halves and it won't stay closed. Anyway, here's the blow mold case. That's fantastic. What we have here is, well, here's an example of the old school brake line flaring tool, where you have this long jobby that actually it clamps on and holds the brake lines, depending on the size, in here. You set them out a little bit. You take your die and you huck it in there, and you awkwardly try to screw it down and hope that everything goes right. Now, what often goes wrong with these ones is when you're using the die might get bent, and that's what happened with this set. And I was in the middle of a job and it was really aggravating. So I decided to give this guy a go, because it's supposed to alleviate that problem of it walking as you're trying to tighten it down. So another thing to point out, if you do get a set like this, don't get a set that has your typical sizes way on the end. There are some kits where, for automotive application, where, you know, you have your two to three typical sizes that you'll ever use, and they put them in the center and all the big ones are on the outside. They just work better. So yeah, keep that in mind. Anyway, let's have a look at this kit and what else that you're probably going to want to use with it, in conjunction with it. So first off, the instructions, we don't need those. No, actually we're professionals, so we read the instructions on how these things work. And a lot of tools, they go in for warranty, and a lot of times it's actually operator error. So know how to use your tools. It'll save you from breaking them in the long run. So what do we have here? It looks a lot different than the other setup. We do have our dies for our different types of flares. You got your double flare and your bubble flare dies. Comes with a nifty little brake line cutter. If you guys have ever worked on brake lines, you know what one of these is and how to use it. It looks like originally the set came with a much bigger one, but then they started putting the small one. I like the small one. It's fantastic. What else it comes with is there's this, well, it's a deburring tool, because when you use this guy, if you're in a rush, you'll turn it, crank it, where you're actually just supposed to go a little bit at a time and just keep going a lot. But if you force it and you go too quick, you get this big burr on the inside of the brake line, and then you won't be able to get your die in. So they give you this deburring tool that's gonna get the burr out of there so that you can actually get on with the job. And then you have your clamping pieces. And these are the pieces, they have inset Allen bolt that goes in and clamps down, and there's little teeth on the inside this hole to actually hold the line from moving as you try to force the die down onto it to make the flare shape, right? And the way it does that is it uses this nifty little mechanism that has the forcing screw actually threaded in through this big nut. And the forcing screw has what every flaring tool set has. It has this cone tapered end. And what that does is it matches up with the die that you're going to be using and forces that down. Makes sense. Okay, so let's actually see this in practice and see how it actually works. Because what I thought was nifty, and the reason why I picked this up, is because of that walking problem. You know, the old style bar thingy contraption. As you're tightening it down, sometimes it'll want to walk to the side and could bend the die, and this is a unique way of keeping everything centered. So it can't walk in any which direction. So let's have a look. Let's put this thing to use. So for a little demo, I've got me some brake line, and let's give this a go. So the way it works is, and this is why you'll need some other tools along with this. So I have and this would be a 5mm Allen or inverted hex, whatever you want to call that. So you back this off, and then that comes apart, and you can slide the die right onto there, or not the die, sorry. You can slide this collar right onto the brake line, and what we actually do here is we use the die that we're using, and on the collar side right here, this is our measurement for how much this should be protruding out of the collar. So so you have the right amount of material that you're actually going to be putting into this flare. So you use that just as a quick measure to get that in its right place, and then you can secure this guy down. So I'm not going to trust finger tight with this, so I'm going to get another wrench on it. Another thing you can do is actually put it in the vise, but that kind of defeats the purpose of it being an inline flaring tool. The whole idea behind this is that you can actually do this in confined spaces as opposed to the other style. So the other style, you're limited to having this big bulky thing that goes in every which direction, but with this one, it's a tight little jobby here. So if you've got a lot of automobile in the way of what you're doing, you can actually get this in there. So next step is to take the die and insert it into the brake line, but uh-oh, we've got a burr from cutting it. So let's put the deburr tool to work. It doesn't really feel like it's doing anything. Is it? Oh, that's enough. That's enough. Actually, that didn't really feel like it was doing much. Didn't feel like it was cutting much at all. Actually, you know what? I got something that will probably work even better than that thing. Cause I don't know. Just 1 second.
Where is that? There it is.
This is a great little tool that anyone can make at home for deburring brake lines after cutting them. This is what is that? A 3/4 spade bit for cutting wood that I've just nipped off the shank for. And what's great about these is it's just a little key you can hold in your hand, and it fits in there, and it's got a nice cutting edge to it, and you can deburr it. So yeah, that's finding a home in this kit. I'm taking that with. Beauty. So yeah, we're deburred and we're inserting the die. The next step is to take your forcing screw mechanism, screw it on like thus. You don't need to really tighten it because it's just being held in place by the threads, right? So, and then just put this guy down. Change your bits up. And then crank her down until she stops. And then back her right out. And just back it off there and crack it free here. And the die's run its way down onto the brake line and bulged it out. Now to finish this particular flare, what you want to do is put that guy back on there. And then force this forcing screw back down again. And don't overdo this. You just want to get a little bit out of this. You just want to start that cone shape into there. So 1, 2, maybe 3. And then back her out of there. And that looks good. Now this part, because you put the flare on, this is just a little chunk of line I'm demonstrating, so I could feed this all the way back. But what you'll want to do is actually back it out all the way, and that way you'll be able to get it off. And always put your stuff back. So she's looking good. That's a nice, even flare. Beauty. It works. Now how long will it last? So yeah, we'll have to see. I was really interested in this set because, you know, of the awkward angles and awkward positions that you get yourself into when working on brake lines. You know, you're not always in an ideal position. And you're not on the bench all the time doing this. So if you're able to do inline flaring for putting your ends together, sounds to me like a great invention. So we'll be revisiting this one in probably a year or so, see how it held up and how it's going and how this box holds up. I think this thing will be fine. So thanks for tuning in to the review and box opening of it says 165C Napa Service Tools Master Inline Flaring Toolkit, and it's the Professional 500 series. So yeah, I'm saying, for one, this seems like a great kit. I just demonstrated it working, but that again is on the bench.
that's not in an actual application or having done it a bunch of times. Let's see if this thing lasts. Let's see if the tool fails or if it succeeds. Either way, it's going in the toolbox and I'll be using it when I need it. So if you guys like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling generous, hit that like button. And if you want to be part of the conversation, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.